I'd like to welcome everyone to our Brown County School Referendum panel discussion. This referendum this evening is being hosted by the League of Women Voters of Brown County, the Brown County Chamber of Commerce, and Hoosier Action. My name is Sunny Learcamp. I am a co-vice president of the League of Women Voters for Brown County. And as far as my background is concerned, I had been the elected prosecutor for Hamilton County for 16 years. And then I moved to Brown County in 2012. I continue to serve occasionally as a special prosecutor, and I continue to serve as a member of the board of directors of 2 international not-for-profit organizations. I'm happy to introduce you a little bit to the League of Women Voters, which is a nonpartisan organization. We do not support or oppose any political party or candidates. We provide voters with candidate information through the newspaper, online voter guide called Vote 411, and forums like this one, so people can get to know the important issues that are coming up in their communities. And we also do have candidate forums. This year on your ballot will be a school referendum. And this particular referendum has raised a lot of discussion concerning what's contained in the referendum itself and what a positive or negative vote might mean for schools in Brown County. So right now, I would like to advise you that if you are not participating or a speaker, that you keep yourself on mute, and that you also cancel out your video so that we can focus on the speakers that are with us this evening. I also would like to tell you that the panel has been provided with some pre-prepared questions that seem to have come up in many discussions about this referendum, and they will be addressing that during this forum. However, as if any of the spectators have questions, you can put them in chat. And if there is sufficient time at the conclusion of this panel discussion, then I will retrieve those from chat and ask them of the panelists. So with all of that, the ground rules having been established, at this point in time, I would like to introduce Emily Tracy. Emily is the superintendent for the Brown County school systems. And she is going to introduce her fellow panelists and guide us through the presentation of their material this evening. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Sunny. Thank you to the League of Women Voters for this opportunity for our team to be able to provide information and facts regarding the upcoming referendum on the November 8th ballot. This is my second year as superintendent at Brown County Schools. It's my 20th year in education. I'm incredibly grateful for and extremely proud to lead our team towards building and continuing to build world-class opportunities for all of our kids and families in the community of Brown County. This evening, I'm going to ask each of our panelists to just do a brief introduction, let the forum know their role with the district, with the community, and how long they've been affiliated with Brown County Schools and in Brown County at large. And then I will do a little bit of reference to this 2016 referendum, the referendum that will be on the ballot on November 8th, and then I'll turn it back over to our panelists to be able to talk about their respective departments and roles and expertise and what the referendum will do for Brown County schools. So with that, I will have Amy Oliver introduce herself first.
Good evening. Thank you very much for the opportunity to have this forum. I want to thank the League for that opportunity for us to be able to talk about a really complicated topic today. So thank you for that opportunity. My name is Amy Huffman Oliver. I am the Vice President of Brown County Schools, at Brown County Schools Board, and I am in the middle of my second year as a school board member. I was elected in 2020, and I'm not on the ballot this year. But I come to this as a parent. My kids graduated in 2018 and 2021, and I was a teacher at Brown County Junior High School for 5 years, teaching junior high school social studies. So I'm really excited to be here and to talk about the referendum.
Thank you, Amy. Dawn Ray.
Hello. I cannot get my video to work, so I greatly apologize for that. I don't know why. My name is Dawn Ray, and I am the treasurer for Brown County Schools. I actually been working for Brown County Schools for about 6 months now. Before that, I have years of experience at the DLGF, if anyone has heard of that. It's the Department of Local Government Finance. So I was on the other side of tax rates. I helped certify tax rates. So with that knowledge that I bring to the school, it actually is going to be a great asset to be able to make sure that we keep our rates exactly where they need to be, and that we can use them wisely for everything that we need to. So that's me.
Thank you, Dawn. Deborah Harman.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Debbie Harman, and I have been with Brown County Schools since 1986. My background is in special education, speech language pathology in particular. I oversee multiple programs here at the district level, early childhood being one of them, special education being another. I'm deeply involved with curriculum and assessment as well. So I'm glad to be here this evening. In particular, I'll be talking tonight a little bit about early childhood, as that is a focus, one of the focuses of the referendum.
Thanks, Debbie. Christy Reitzman.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Christy Reitzman. I'm the Director of Career Connected Learning for Brown County Schools, and I have been here in the district since 2006. I'm also a community member, parent of 2 children, and a proud graduate of Brown County High School. I will be spending time tonight focusing on our adult education programs within the Career Resource Center.
Thanks, Christy. Sarah Cochran.
Hello, I'm Sarah Cochran. I am currently a teacher teaching English language arts at Brown County High School. It is my 9th year teaching. I have been an elementary school teacher for 3rd and 4th grade students. I've also been a junior high school teacher in English language arts for 8th grade students. I've also been an instructional coach and master teacher for Brown County Schools. And both of my children have graduated from Brown County Schools in 2017 and in 2021. And I'm outside of the school. I am also the president of the Brown County Educators Association, as well as I am a regional representative for the Indiana Upland Hills LPAC, which is an arm of ISTA.
Thank you, Sarah. Brenda Ely.
Hi, I'm Brenda Ely. I'm currently master teacher at Helmsburg Elementary. I graduated, proud graduate of Brown County High School. I won't tell you when. I have 3 sons that graduated from Brown County. I am, this is about my 24th or 25th year of full-time teaching at Helmsburg. I'm a past president of Brown County Educators Association and now currently serve on the leadership board of the Brown County Educators Association.
Thank you, Brenda. And Kara Hemis.
Hi, everyone. My name is Kara Hammis, and I am a Brown County Schools parent. I've got 2 kids that go to Helmsburg Elementary. We've lived in Brown County for about 6 years now, and my husband and I also own a business in Brown County. And so I'm here to offer a perspective while I'm affected by the schools like everyone in this community would be. I don't work directly for the schools, and I see the need for the referendum, and that's also why I'm serving as the chairperson for the PAC, the Yes for Brown County Schools group that is doing some advocacy to encourage a vote yes on, for members of the community.
Thank you, Kara. I think it's important for us to know where we've been and to know where we need to go. So I just wanted to be able to take a few moments to talk about the current referendum that we're in. In 2016, the community of Brown County supported the referendum of 8 pennies to every $100 of assessed valuation. It's important to know that with a proposed spending plan, whatever gets approved for the referendum, you have to delineate exactly how those pennies or dollars are going to be spent. And for the 2016 referendum, and those 8 pennies, 1 penny was directly to support the Career Resource Center and adult education within Brown County. And then the 7 pennies are directed to the teachers and staff and all employees for wages and benefits. We are seeking now on November 8th, a renewal of those 8 pennies. In addition to those 8 pennies, we're asking for an additional 4 to have a total of 12 on the November 8th ballot. Those 12 pennies and the proposed spending plan for that will be to continue to support adult education with the CRC with 1 penny. It will be to support the Early Childhood Center and a Birth to 5 initiative for Brown County with 1 penny. We're asking for 9 of those 12 pennies to go towards staff, wages, and benefits to be able to continue to build out innovative programming, stay competitive with salary and benefits with our neighbors. And then the last penny is directed towards operations, which would be literally anything to operate the district. So in easy terms to understand, that it could be anything from transportation and school bus and school bus drivers to custodial and maintenance, the health clinic, again, literally anything to operate the district. I think one other thing that's really important to remember is that a referendum lasts for 8 years, and we are currently in year 7 of that 2016 referendum. So some people have asked us, why are we asking to renew it on November 8th as opposed to next year when it's May? And the answer really is simple. If we wait until May to ask for a renewal, we will have to hold a special election because it would be the only thing on the ballot. And if Brown County Schools is having to hold a special election, that means Brown County Schools is required to pay for that special election, which would cost the district thousands of dollars. So hence it will be on the November 8th ballot. If the referendum does not pass, we will be absorbing about $1.2 million back into Brown County Schools budget. So with that, a little bit of background information. Now I'm going to turn it back over to our panelists, and they're going to talk a little bit about their respective departments, their expertise, and in the areas that will directly benefit from the referendum and the community supporting it on November 8th. I would like to be able to start with Amy Oliver. She is one of our board members, and I think some questions have been raised about what is the board's role in leading a referendum and getting it off the ground. So I'd like to turn it over to Amy.
Thanks, Emily. I just want to talk from the perspective of the board about our role in the referendum. We have known since the first referendum that we would need to ask for renewal of that referendum. And the thing is, when you first start in a referendum, you don't actually know how much money it's going to result in. Everyone's assessed values go up and down, and your tax rate is based upon that. So when tax values go down, the amount of money that goes to the schools goes down. When assessments go up, then the amount of money that we receive also goes up. So it is a fairly steady source of income. And again, we estimated it, and Dawn can tell us more numbers about it, but about $1.2 million per year. But again, that can vary. As we committed to the community in the first referendum, that money, 7 of the pennies per $100 of assessed value goes to staff salary and benefits. And we have absolutely done that and are incredibly grateful for that. We had a 9-year freeze on salaries for certified staff. And as you know, in any business or anywhere where we all are paid from a business or from a state entity, we need to be able to pay our staff. And we're going to hear more about that from our teachers. But it was that money that allowed us to try to get out of that spending freeze and to offer some pretty healthy raises for the first time in a really long time to our teachers. And that was so critically important. However, we, just like everything else, inflation goes up, and we're going to need to continue to pay those teachers. The amount of that $1.2 million equals in the amount of about 17 certified teachers, educators, or 24 staff members. So that money is really critical, but it really does allow us to try to pay our teachers what they deserve and what we need to do, and to keep our salaries increasing as is necessary. That other 1 cent does go to the CRC, and we have Christy can talk more about what they've been able to do with that at the CRC. The role of the board in this is to help in the planning. We look at oversight. We are strategic planners. We're looking ahead. And I just want to mention that, Superintendent Hammock back in 2016 did a strategic plan, had some numbers run as far as the demographics of our community and where we were headed. Due to, again, the demographics, we just don't have as many babies being born in Brown County as we once did. And that really does affect us. The state pays us per student. And so as our number of students go down, if we have fewer babies in Brown County, we have fewer young parents who are moving to Brown County, that affects the total amount of income that we receive from the state. Under that funding formula, they don't give us enough money based upon those things that we need to operate. And that's the reason that we have to come forward with a referendum and ask the community to pay a little bit and additional property taxes in order for us to try to have the quality of schools that they want. We work very closely with the superintendent and with the treasurer and our other financial advisors to project out what is our budget going to look like? How much are we going to receive for the state? Once again, it isn't as if it's a very steady paycheck. The amount that the state pays us varies. The number of students we have on what is called ADM Day, which is the day in which we count the students, that varies. So it's I really admire our funding people. Dawn in particular has a really tough job in trying to project out how much money are we going to need, how much are we going to receive from the state, how much are we going to receive in referendum money, are we going to be able to meet our budget, and how are we going to be able to do that. We work very closely, as I said, with the superintendent in the referendum project. We have been looking towards this referendum for the past 2 years, exactly what we needed to do, when we were going to have it, and how much money were we going to need to ask for. What we ask for in the 8 cents and in the 12 cents per $100 of assessed value is significantly less than our surrounding counties and the referendums that they have requested. And so we are very much trying to live within our budget. I have one final thing that I want to add, and then I want to make sure everybody gets a chance to talk here. But again, I want to go back to 2016 when Dr. Hammock really was looking out at our 10-year forecast of, where would we be and what do we need to do in order to meet those budget requirements with our enrollment decline. And at that time, she set us on a path to make some budget modifications. And in that first year of 2016, 2017, we cut $4.5 million out of our budget at that time. And we have continued those cuts in the years since then. So when folks say, oh, you needed a referendum, oh, you just need to cut more. The message I want people to understand is that we have already done those cuts. We have continued to do those cuts. And the reason we're in pretty good shape right now with our current referendum is because we looked forward and we have lived within our means. But as we continue to look forward into the next 8 years, we are going to need some additional money. And that's what this additional 4 cents is for. Some of the things that we have done at that time, we, for instance, completely revamped our healthcare insurance, bringing the health and wellness clinic here and saving significant healthcare costs was a huge game changer in our budget. We have also gone to a third-party food service vendor, Chartwells, which has seen significant savings for us. In 2021, we offered retirement bonuses for both certified staff and our certified educators, as well as our staff, which was, again, a significant savings for us. We also as most people know, a grade and building reorganization in order to try to reduce some of those costs. And all of those things have been remarkably successful in helping us live within our means. So it's just really important for everyone to understand that we are doing this on a daily basis. What can we do in order to live within our means? What can we do to do that? But there are only so many cuts that we can make before we are really starting to affect the quality of education that we're offering. And we don't want to compromise on that. That is not something that we want to do. So we want to continue to offer those world-class opportunities to our children here. So I'm going to pass it on to the next person, but thank you all. And I appreciate the opportunity to be here. Thanks.
Thank you, Amy. Christy, the CRC and adult education has been supported for quite some time in the community of Brown County. Can you talk a little bit about what we serve with the adult education and how much the referendum really does mean for the CRC?
Yes, thank you. I'm so happy and proud to share what the Career Resource Center has been able to do. For those of you that don't know, the Career Resource Center was founded in 2002 by a group of, I would say, forward-thinking and innovative individuals who really saw the need for adult education and lifelong learning in this community. And in 2008, our community said yes to the very first referendum ever. It was for 1 cent to support the Career Resource Center. So while we have been talking about 2016 and the 8 cents, it just feels really good to know that 1 cent for our adult education, lifelong learning programs has been in existence and has been supported wholeheartedly from our community since 2008. And we are not asking for an increase. We are asking for that 1 penny to remain since 2008. The Career Resource Center's mission is to offer educational opportunities, individual counseling, career-related services, and to improve the quality of life and earning potential for lifelong learning in our community. I want to show a slide here that just gives you a little bit of information around our data since 2016. I'm not going to take us back to 2002 and 2008. A lot of things have happened since that time, but I do think it's important to share with you some numbers and what we've been doing since 2016, the last referendum. So I'm going to share my screen. This is actually an ad that is coming along to just share with our community here soon what we're doing at the Career Center. So if you've ever wondered what happens at the Career Center, here's what happens each and every day. We have, since 2016, issued or been able to provide over 16,000, almost 17,000 hours from certified instructors teaching in some capacity at the Career Resource Center. 21,000 plus individuals. These are individual people that have come into the Career Resource Center since 2016 to utilize some sort of class or service from us. We have been able to accomplish, obviously, through the great work of our students, 125 high school equivalencies have been earned. And 324 adult basic education students have been served. I think it's important to stop for just a second and make sure that people understand that adult education, adult basic education, is not just high school equivalency. And in fact, many people will think of GED, but in the state of Indiana, we are not a GED state. We are a high school equivalency state, which is more rigorous. And so those 125 high school equivalencies are just that, equivalencies from adults. And so when we share that there have been 324 adult basic education students and 125 high school equivalencies, I just want to make sure that you all understand that adult basic education goes beyond the high school equivalency. It goes into preparing students for post-secondary education, making sure that their literacy and their math skills are where they need to be to enter into a post-secondary institution. We also serve students who want to go into certifications and attend our certification courses to get that first step into a career here, many of them here in our community. So I just wanted to explain for a moment that it's kind of a misconception that adult basic education is only GED or HSE, when in fact we serve students in many other capacities, many of which who already have a high school equivalency. We have put out 40 plus certified clinical medical assistants that have been trained, and that has just been within the last 3 years. Actually, we just started the CCMA assessment, or excuse me, certification about 3 years ago. The phlebotomy technician course, we've trained more than 5. That was a new course for us last year, so the numbers are lower there, but it does show you something new that we have offered. We've had 30 plus master electricians trained. And in this community, I won't name names, but when you see various vans and trucks driving around this community that are advertising their electrical businesses, I encourage you to stop and ask them where they received their instruction. Chances are they were students at the Career Resource Center with our instructor, David Mills, who's been with the Career Resource Center for probably nearly 15 years now. We've had over 50 certified nursing assistants trained. Again, I encourage you to go over to some of our home health areas, our partner with Brown County Health and Living. If you have any family members, that work there, or family members that are currently living there, you know that these CNAs are vital to their health and their well-being there in those facilities. And we're the ones training them here in Brown County. So I hope I've given you a little bit of information as far as the numbers. Since 2016. There are many more numbers than this, remember, because we've been working since 2002, and the community's been supporting our work since 2008 through the referendum dollars. I guess the last piece that I would just kind of leave you with is that we offer certification programs, we offer life skill classes and lifelong learning opportunities, and we also offer employment services. We have many partners, such as Vincennes University, Ivy Tech, Work One, and then several businesses that we partner with here in the community as well to help provide the training and the skills that we need for our students. I think it's also important to note that while Brown County Schools serves our K-12 students, there are students in this community who are older or who are adults, anyone ranging 16 or above, who did not obtain a diploma in some way, has the opportunity to come to the Career Resource Center and obtain that high school equivalency through very small classes, no more than 3 students ever at a time for high school equivalency, typically one-on-one. And they can sit for that high school equivalency exam. There's no cost to the student when they come into our program for high school equivalency. Our certification programs have a small fee, but we work very hard to make sure that we find funding available for students who come in. In fact, those 40 certified medical assistants that you see trained, there has not been one of those individuals that has had to pay out of pocket for CCMA, and that is a $2,600 class. So I hope that you will see or ask questions about how we find our funding and how we provide our students with as much education with certified teachers and instructors as we can at no cost. And I'm just sincerely thankful to those individuals again who created the CRC back in 2002 and looked ahead to see what our community would need in the way of lifelong learning and adult education.
Thank you, Christy. I will say before I hand it over to the next panelist, you know, when I arrived to Brown County Schools in Nashville last August, you know, one of the things I was most impressed with was our continuum to be able to serve preschool or early education all the way through adult education, and that Brown County Schools has the vision to be able to provide those supports and those services and those resources to the entire community. It's also really important to remember that those state dollars, we only get those state dollars to fund kindergarten through 12th grade. So when Christy's talking all about adult education and all those certifications and the costs that go with that, we don't get state dollars for those. And I'm going to turn it over to Debbie, and Debbie's going to talk all about our vision for early childhood and that Birth to 5 program. And we don't get state funding dollars for that either, but yet Brown County Schools has been able to set forth a vision to be able to serve that entire continuum. So I just had to put a little plug in there of how hard everybody has worked in this county for years. So with that, Debbie, let's talk about early education.
I am happy to do that. So, gosh, if you haven't had a young child in Brown County for a while, or maybe if you had a young child in Brown County years ago, unfortunately, in some ways, the opportunities for early education have not changed that much in that amount of time. In Brown County, we now have in the school district the opportunities that are probably the broadest for our preschool children. So Brown County is considered somewhat of a child care desert. We have been able to fill that gap, close that gap a bit by having 6 preschool classrooms across our elementary schools. So since 2016, when Nashville Elementary became the intermediate school, we moved our preschool classrooms and we decided to have 2 preschool classrooms in each of our elementary schools. Those preschool classrooms have served hundreds of students since that time and continue to do so. We've really worked hard to keep the cost of those programs down. It really is, you know, difficult to have a program and charge what it costs to actually operate the program. We've had our first rate increase in this year since 2016. Just to give you an idea, we charge $27 a day. So that's just, you know, $135 a week. Many of our families apply for what we have as a scholarship program through the Community Foundation. The tuition that we bring in through either scholarship support or through our families is what we use to operate the program. We've gotten to the point that we don't try to make money on the program. We try to break even, but we really aren't breaking even. Brown County Schools is kind of filling that gap. Even though we have 6 classrooms and those classrooms operate from 8 in the morning till 3 in the afternoon, we still had other needs that families were communicating to us. So this year we opened up an early education center at the early education center at the Educational Services Center. So the former Nashville Elementary building, which was the intermediate school, is now the building that the early education center is housed at. That program houses or can serve another 20 children and is a little bit different in that the hours of operation are from 7 a.m. till 5 p.m. So we continue to try to listen to the community and meet the needs of the community in terms of early education. It's a challenge, but we feel like it's really worthwhile. Our kindergartners, you know, I told you I've been here since 1986. Very, very, very few of our kids had preschool when I first came here. Even 10 or 20 years later, still few of our children had early ed experiences. Now, when we look at our class of kindergarten children, about 80% of them have an early ed experience with us in Brown County. It makes a huge difference for them when they go to kindergarten. It makes a huge difference for them all the way up through grade 3. So we are asking for a penny for preschool or a penny for early education in Brown County to really be able to sustain this program. It's not going to be possible to charge families enough in tuition or to even offer enough scholarship through the foundation to, over the long term, operate this program at the level that the community needs it to operate. So I guess I just want to say that we may have fewer babies here in Brown County, but we still want excellent opportunities for those babies. We want better opportunities than the babies before them might have had, I guess. So yeah, I can't really say enough about the program in terms of support within our own school district for it. Our teachers are very glad to have children that have been to preschool. It makes, like I said, a great difference to them. I will also say that our program is unique in that it serves both children with special needs and children without special needs. So it's a fully inclusive program. And like I said, we don't get any money from the state. Like Emily said, we don't get any money from the state to be able to operate this program. We get a tiny bit of money from the federal government to be able to support children that have disabilities that are preschool age. But, you know, it's you know, $15,000 or so, which doesn't really go very far. So just to give you an idea, our program overall, to have 2 teachers and 2 paraprofessionals at Spernica, Helmsburg, and Van Buren costs about $250,000 a year. Our early education center program is almost double that, even though it doesn't serve as many children because of the extended hours that we have. And we have to be able to always stay within a ratio of 1 to 10 children. And there aren't any other educators within the building that we can call upon if someone is absent. So we really have to overstaff that program. So, you know, the need overall is you know, about $750,000 to be able to run this program that our community desperately needs, without raising tuition to the point of no one even being able to afford it. We're looking to the community for that penny of support.
I just wanted to add a quick personal anecdote on, you know, to add on to what Debbie just shared. I mentioned in my intro that my husband and I moved here about 6 years ago. And at the time we had a 1 and a 3-year-old. And when we were considering moving down here, I mean, we were at the point where we were ready to make the decision to do it, but we could not find we were like, we want to move to this community. but what are we, you know, we both had full-time jobs. I can't watch my children while I was trying to work remotely. And so we needed childcare, and we happened to luck into, you know, I'm Googling, I'm doing everything trying to find care for our kids. I lucked into calling someone that knew of someone that they thought maybe had an in-home, you know, childcare situation, and that ended up working out for us. But as people who wanted to move here, we didn't have family, you know, we didn't have community connections when we made that choice. So we didn't have people to turn to even ask for, you know, their recommendations. And so it's definitely something where when you have this big of a lack in the community, which the schools have really, you know, are really stepping up and trying to meet, you're preventing people that need the services from even being able to come here if they want to. And so, like I said, we lucked out. I mean, we loved who our kids ended up with. We've recommended her to many people, but I know we probably would have gone with the schools if that had been an option. And once both of my kids were 3, they went to the preschool at Helmsburg, and I can, you know, echo what Debbie was saying. It made such a difference in their level of comfort with what the school day looked like, their connection already to the principal, to the other staff, to other kids even, you know, they already knew kids that were in older grades than them. And so it really makes a difference to their level of comfort and connection to school, but also for us as a family. You know, we're happy in the house we're in, but I wouldn't even want to consider moving within Brown County to one of the other elementary schools, as awesome as they are. Like, our connection is to Helmsburg, and I want them to be able to stay there. So it really is something that makes a big difference in the quality of life of people that live here, of people that are having children, and people that want to move here and make this a home. So thank you.
Yeah, Carrie, you remind me, I think I was remiss in saying in January, we will be opening up our first toddler class. Very excited about that at the Early Education Center. We will be serving 2-year-olds. So that is a new venture for us. Currently looking at what we will charge for that service. It's a difficult thing to think about because no matter what we do, we're not going to be able to really cover the cost. But we're going to do it anyway with a good faith moving forward. We're just going to think positively. We also, there's a real need for infant care. We have room at the Early Education Center for infant care. We just need to, we need to see, we really need to see where this referendum goes and see if it will give us the opportunity to grow the opportunities that families are looking for, as Kara mentioned.
Thank you both for sharing all of that. I think that's an incredibly perfect transition to lead us into Sarah and Brenda to talk a little bit about teachers and staff. And, you know, I just got done saying that we only get that state funding for K-12. And 9 pennies of the 12 pennies is dedicated directly to teachers and staff at Brown County schools to be able to recruit and retain the best of the best. So I'm going to let Sarah and Brenda kind of tag team this next little section here.
I think Kara and Debbie have given me a perfect segue, because what I want to start off by talking about, first of all, when we love Helmsburg, but I'm going to put a plug in there for Van Buren, because as master teacher for 2 years at Van Buren, a lot of what I did included monitoring student data for that entire building. One thing I want to say is that when we look at our kindergarten students, those kindergarten students that come out of Brown County Schools preschool program, 98% of those students by mid-year are reading at or above grade level for kindergarten, versus less than 50% of students who do not attend Brown County Schools preschool program do the same. So it is incredibly valuable, not just for the comfort level of the children, but their educational success as well. Research shows that preschool is incredibly important and foundational to a student's success in their K through 12 education. Also, we are a district that houses 2 National Blue Ribbon schools. recognized by the United States Department of Education for their excellence. Our students get to participate in a myriad of amazing opportunities and activities, some on a regular basis, some on a special basis. Our students this year were able to communicate with astronauts live aboard the International Space Station from Van Buren Elementary School. Our students at the middle school have participated in cross-curricular field trips involving our state parks, our forestry division, Purdue University, Purdue Extension. We have also a STEM certified school at Brown County Middle School. Those students work with community partners through Commons, Forestia, LHP, Cook. I'm sure I'm going to miss a whole bunch of them, but these wonderful community partners come in every year and bring tremendous opportunities to our students in terms of being able to solve real world problems from the classroom. In fact, a couple of years ago, our junior high students were able to participate in a project that Cook Medical had requested because they had a number of their employees on their assembly line having to file workers' comp for carpal tunnel syndrome. And so they asked our students if they could come up with a better way to assemble the heart catheters that they were creating in their manufacturing facilities. And they did. Cook took that design and has worked it to patent it to be included now in their manufacturing process. So these are opportunities that our students would not have if we had not been able to pass that first 8-cent referendum for teachers and students in Brown County schools. I also want to say that overall, Indiana is 41st in the United States in terms of teacher salaries. 41st in terms of teacher salaries, but 51st, ranked 51st in terms of growth in teacher salaries in the last 10 years. So we rank dead last in the United States in terms of growth in teacher salaries in the last 10 years. This problem that Brown County Schools is having is not singular to Brown County Schools. There are many schools across our state who are using referendums every year to pay their teachers. I encourage our voters in Brown County to reach out to state legislators to properly fund our schools, and in particular, to properly fund our rural schools. The average teacher salary in Indiana is $53,000 per year. In Illinois, our neighboring states, in Illinois, that average is $70,000. In Ohio, that average is $63,000. In Michigan, that average is $64,000. And in Kentucky, that average is $54,000. We have a lot of work to do in Indiana. I understand that it is difficult to think about passing a referendum that could raise your property tax even $1 a month. But it is important in this time because our state legislators have dropped the ball in Indiana. So I just encourage us to think beyond Brown County when we think about what teachers and students need in the state of Indiana as well. The other benefits that our students are receiving through the referendum dollars are participation in C4 programming and our Eagle Manufacturing Program. That Eagle Manufacturing Program is expanding, and it's a wonderful thing to see that many more of our students are going to get to participate in that amazing business opportunity resume building opportunity, and just outstanding educational, immersive educational opportunity that a lot of students in other districts around the state are not able to see. My son was both a C4 student and an Eagle Manufacturing graduate, and has come back multiple summers to continue helping in the business of Eagle Manufacturing since his graduation. He participated in the graphic design program at C4, and he was a graphic designer for Eagle Manufacturing for the last 2 of his high school years. This, as well as the tremendous programs that we have here at Brown County Schools in the arts, afforded him direct admission to the Heron School of Art at IUPUC in Indianapolis, where he's in year 2 of his graphic design program there. But within his first year as a freshman at IUPUC, or I'm sorry, IUPUI, he's not at IUPUC, IUPUI, he was able to receive, because of his experience in C4 and his experience at Eagle Manufacturing, within his first year, he was able to receive a paid internship with a company in Indianapolis for graphic design. So in fact, he's received 2 paid internships for graphic design since his freshman year, all due to the education that he received from Mr. Townsend and Andy Bartels and the amazing C4 educators over in Columbus as well, which Brown County pays for in order to let our students be in attendance. So these are opportunities that I'm so grateful for as a parent. I'm also so grateful for them as an educator. And as the president of our Educators Association, I have the opportunity to really hear teacher voices and listen to teachers' concerns. One concern I have is for our Eagle Manufacturing educators. They're working tremendously hard with this expansion. I know that our beloved Mr. Townsend is up until 2 a.m. most every night, because he's not only educating the students he loves and running a business and helping them run that business, but now he's currently helping with the construction project over at the Educational Services Center, and just managing the equipment that will be purchased and installed perfectly so that our students can continue to benefit. So I think it's really important to realize that our teachers, those who are left here in the county, are working really hard outside of their normal school day hours on a number of different projects that are keeping the world-class opportunities in play for our students here in Brown County Schools.
I would
Sarah.
just like to add to that. I've been here for several years as a Brown County educator, and I was here during the freeze of salaries for teachers. And my students, or my sons, were students at Brown County Schools when that happened. And so when that first happened, any teacher that could, just about, they left to go to another corporation where they were able to get a bump in salary because they had a longer contract and could get that little bit of bump. So we lost teachers there. And then finally, with the passing of the referendum, we were able to give teachers a salary increase, even though we were frozen for 9 years. The cost of living didn't freeze. So that was really difficult. And so more recently now, because there's a teacher shortage, teachers are high demand. We're losing teachers to surrounding communities because they're able to pay more. And so again, some of our rock star teachers that provide these incredible opportunities for our students now are leaving because they can be paid more. At Helmsburg, we lost 5 certified staff members this past year.
We've lost a tremendous amount of staff members this past year. Brenda, you're right. It is sad. I will say that by and large, all of the staff members whom we have lost are sad to leave Brown County Schools.
They are.
Reason that they're leaving Brown County Schools, however, is a need to support their family. When we look at, again, the cost or the amount paid to teachers in terms of salary across the nation, studies from the National Educators Association show that across the US, when adjusted for inflation, teachers currently across the US make $2,150 less per year than they did 10 years ago. When you think about Brown County as part of that equation and the amount of time that our salaries were frozen for 9 years, we not only lost that amount due to inflation, but also the freeze, right? So we're trying to recover from two things going forward in order to keep our excellent teachers who we love in this district.
I wanted to share too, just a quick difference. I have 3 sons. There's 10 years between my oldest and my youngest. When my oldest graduated high school and went to as a freshman in college, he was behind. He was the only student that hadn't ever set foot in an actual science lab and completed a lab in a science lab. And he called home and he said, "Mom, they're all advanced. They all have science labs. They all know how to be in a lab. And I've just done them on paper." And so he really had to catch up. Because of the referendum, we were able, in the innovative thinking of Brown County Schools, there are STEM labs in all elementaries. We have an incredible STEM lab at the middle school, and all our high school science labs were overhauled and completely redone. My youngest son, 10 years later, is a freshman at Purdue. He went in as a freshman with enough hours because of his time spent at Brown County Schools and the programming. He went in as a sophomore, and he, because of his experience with Eagle Manufacturing and the classwork that he had at Brown County Schools, he's competing in his program with students from all over the world, and now is at the top because of the programs that he got from Brown County. And that is all because of the referendum and the money that Brown County Schools has and that they invested into the programs and students of Brown County. So just another personal story.
I'm going to say, Brenda, that really it's all because of our wonderful teachers. The fact that the teachers are still here is due to that first 8-cent referendum. But our teachers, they have amazing relationships with the students here in Brown County Schools. They are innovative. They are tireless in their work ethic. And I could not be prouder to represent anyone.
That's true. They still call their teachers, and their teachers are still in contact with them and helping my youngest son through his coursework at Purdue.
Yes, our former Spanish teacher at the high school, who has since retired, but she keeps in touch with my son as well. They have had lunch together. I see other former graduates from Brown County Schools that say, they're so happy that Miss Mannix reached out to them and told them happy birthday or met them for lunch. Former social studies teacher, former science teacher, those science teachers, all their teachers really continue to ask about them and recall times spent with them. They really truly build relationships with students here in Brown County Schools. We moved here 16 years ago from Central Florida, and we're looking for a quieter place to raise our children, and we certainly got it. And I am so proud that they're Brown County Schools graduates.
I want to thank you both. I think both of your testimonials are incredibly powerful. And I hear Brenda, you talk about this as an investment. This absolutely is an investment in our kids and our families and the future of the entire community of Brown County. A couple things, Sarah, you're so proud of everything that we have to offer. And you mentioned C4 and the opportunities that our kids get to have over there. And you're absolutely right. Some of the opportunities over at C4 that we are able to buy in and have a partnership with that to be able to extend those opportunities. At the same time, we're trying really, really hard to bring some of those programs that are offered over at Columbus back to Brown County. So you talk about graphic design. With the expansion of Eagle Manufacturing, we now have a graphic design pathway. We've built out the business marketing and entrepreneurship. With the expansion, we're also able to bring construction back to Brown County. So absolutely all of those are in our vision, and we want to continue those that collaboration and the partnership with our partners to increase and maximize the opportunity. I know we are at 8:02 and this is only supposed to be for an hour, but I want to be able to do two things before we close out. And one thing to know that if there are questions in the chat, or Sunny and Sherry, if you receive questions after the fact, we are more than welcome to be able to answer those in writing and then push those out when we can push out the video. So I know time is limited, but we would still offer that extension. Two things I really would like for Dawn Ray to be able to show the website and how to specifically go in, and so somebody could figure their tax impact and what the referendum would mean directly to them. And I believe that's going to open up a discussion about the ballot, the question that's on the ballot, and how misleading that may be. So if we could just allow enough time for those two things. And then I'd really like for Kara, if she's got any words for us as a community member, and how important it is for our community, for her to be able to wrap it up for us. And then I think we'll be done. So Dawn, can you take us on a journey to the website?
Absolutely. All right, I am going to share my screen. Can everybody see where we're at? We're at the Brown County School webpage. Can everybody see that? Okay, so
Yes.
What we're doing here is, this is just our the school's regular webpage. It is browncountyschools.com. Takes you right here. This is the main page. Right here at the very top, if you can't tell, I'm pointing, but right here it says 2022 referendum. You can click on that and it's going to take you to the referendum page. You know you're there because it says it right here. What we're going to do is we're going to scroll down. We're going to say hi to Emily and pass her. We're going to keep on going down. Right down here, cost. So the big thing is to try to figure out how much does the 12 cents cost versus the 8 cents. So this is where every person can come in here and they can do this, and they don't need to have any information except for if you know your own address or if you know your last name, you can find it. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So first you're going to click on step 1 right here. Okay. And this is actually going to take you to, if you look, this is the county's website. This is Brown County, the county's website. This is where you can actually find your information. So right here, you can actually put in either your last name, or you can put the beginning of your address. What I recommend is simply doing your last name. And what I have is, I have someone who is a community member who graciously said, yes, go ahead and just look at my stuff. And actually, I'm probably just going to put in the address. It'll make it faster because we have a lot with the same address or with the same last name, Helmsburg. And before you teachers get on me, I know I'm not capitalizing, but trust me, the website is fine without capitalizing. Okay, so right here, we can see owner, we can see everything. It won't tell you anything else. What you're going to do is you want to look at the invoice. So you always come over to the invoice. When this pops up, we're not going to look at this top part. We're going to go down to page number 2. And right here. So first thing, you want to look at the very right column, how it says pay 2022. That means what you're paying in 2022. And that means in 2022, this right here, this is the assessed value, the basic assessed value. Now you're going to look at 3 columns. This column here, which is column A, and then you want B and you want C. You're going to have 3 different figures that you're going to use. So we're going to remember those. And I'm going to go back over to my schools page. And I'm going to click this one, calculate your adjusted growth, adjusted tax. So when I come in here, the first thing I want to do, you see right here where it says taxing district and it says Jackson. This is very, very important. We have different districts, so we want to make sure and choose the correct one. So Jackson, first thing right here, select taxing district. It's going to default to Hamblin. So we want to make sure and choose. Since I'm in Jackson, choose Jackson, okay? And then those 3 columns, A, B, and C, that's the figures that I'm putting in here. So if you want to see, 186.5 goes right here. This was a 0. You don't have to put anything in there, or you could just go ahead and put the 0. And then this one right here, 6,500. You see where I'm getting those from? So the 6,500 goes in the 3rd one. Now, I just hit tab, that's what I did. So what this is looking at, this is looking at those differences. This tells me monthly referendum property tax liability per month with my assessed values that I put all the information up here. Now, yes, I did put gross in, but this system will automatically take out your basics like your homestead and your mortgage deductions. It's going to take those out for you. So that way you don't have to do extra calculating on the side. This property is an extra $3.50 a month. That's it. Annual 4201. So here's the thing. This system will show you exactly what your differences are. This is a very good system to go to. Just make sure that you, first off, you do the search, find your property, click view invoice. That opens your invoice. You go to page 2, make sure and grab the very right column because this has your current year assessed values. These first 3 columns right there. It's pretty simple. So that is what every person can do. All you have to do is go to the school's website and find the referendum at the very top. It'll take you here and you're scrolling down probably about halfway through the page. This is where you can go find your tax bill on the county's website. This is where you can go to use the tax calculator that we have on there. And by the way, this entire page has tons of information on here. There's a bunch of FAQs, everything on there. There's just a whole lot of stuff in here. So I think that's about it. I think since we're running short on time, I think I'll go ahead and stop right there.
Thank you, Dawn. Amy, would you like to just reference the language that's on the ballot and the confusion that potentially is wrapped around all of it?
Well, actually, I wondered, Dawn, if you would go back to the page and go to the Baker Tilly page that says comparison of school taxes with our nearby school corporations. This is a really important graph that we have on our website. Again, this is our central location. For anything you want to know about the referendum, we have put it all here on this page. So there's a whole lot of things that we are not talking about tonight that are available here at browncountyschools.com/referendum 2022. But I want to just take a look at this graph for a moment to put the amount of taxes that we're paying into perspective. There's a lot of numbers on here, but I want to focus on the very bottom line. And if you pull it up just a little bit more, Dawn, I think very bottom line says a 2022 state median tax rate. So this is how much each school district you're paying if you live in that school district. And the average is $1.04 per $100 of assessed value. If you look there, the second to the left, we've circled it, says Brown County Schools. We are paying, the tax rate is 0.65 is 64 cents, 65 cents rounded up to that, 65 cents. The state average is $1.04. If you look at our neighboring school districts, we are still paying a lot less in taxes than any other school district except for Monroe County, which is almost the same, about a penny less. And they also have a referendum of, I don't remember how much, but quite a bit more than what we are asking for. So they're gonna shoot ahead of us on this chart. You'll look at all of the schools in our neighboring districts here: Martinsville, Seymour, Nineveh, Hensley, Jackson, Edinburgh, North Lawrence, Bartholomew, and Brownstown are all under that $1.04 median tax rate. So when somebody tells you we pay a lot of taxes in Brown County, there are a lot of different kinds of taxes. And so not all of that information is always accurate. This is accurate information about this particular type of tax and what we're talking about. And if you look at that, we're at the bottom of that chart. We do not ask for nearly as much in tax rate as do other neighboring corporations. And you can see those are of all different sizes of our neighboring school corporations. So I want to bring that attention to you. The second thing is that the state legislature didn't do us a favor on this referendum, in that they have some required language that must be here on the referendum. And what you're going to see on the ballot is very confusing. I can tell you the first time I read it, I had absolutely no idea what it meant. So we want to sort of encourage people to understand what a vote yes means and what a vote no means. These are complicated issues, and the DLGF are the Department of Local Government Finance, are the folks who write this language, as well as the legislature. And we're asking actually in January that the legislature change this referendum language, because it is not written in a way that normal people like us can understand it. But it does look like your taxes are going up. I looked up the language here, are going up. It says 33.91%. That is not, your entire tax is not going up that amount. It is basically reflecting the fact that it's going to go from 8 cents, which is what we're currently paying per $100 of assessed value, to 12 cents. And that, I guess if you figure that out, that is about that increase. So those numbers that are there are not really meaningful as far as your overall tax rate. It looks misleading. So if you are talking to any other voters, I hope that you'll let them know that. What is simple to understand is if you vote yes for the referendum, it will go from 8 cents to 12 cents. If you vote no, it will be 0 cents. And that is one of our great concerns. We're not going to go, we don't get the option of going back to the 8 cents that we've already been receiving. It's either 0 or 12 cents. So voting yes is the 12 cents, which is what we've estimated that we need in order to keep the programming going and the awesome things that Sarah Cochran and Brenda Ely were talking about. Those are the things we want to do. We want to maintain, we want to grow, we want to pay our staff. And we believe that we can do that with a very conservative increase of just those 4 cents. And that will help sustain us through the next 8 years of this referendum. So voting yes is voting for that 12 cents. Voting no is voting for 0 cents. And what that would mean is that $1.2 million plus or minus, we would have to absorb that back into our budget. And that would mean some pretty serious cuts. And so that's why we are asking for everyone's support. And I hope that that helps explain that for folks, and that you'll help your neighbors understand that as well. That's all I have. Thank you.
I just want to add to Amy real quick. There, right before getting on this call or this panel discussion, I did check the Indiana Department of Education's website, and there are just under 2,000 teaching and counseling positions still open across the state. These are those higher paid positions that our teachers are seeking, and I don't want to lose any more. I love our teachers, and so please do vote yes for Brown County Schools.
Thank you. I will like just to take a couple minutes and ask that Kara kind of wrap up for us. And I do think it's incredibly powerful to hear from all of us on the school's front line. But this is also a community request, and we're asking for the community to support beyond K-12 education and the entire PK to adult continuum. So, Kara, what's that mean for you as a parent, as a business owner, as a community stakeholder?
Yeah, I mean, I have heard all the points that you all touched on before tonight, but it always is really powerful to me just to hear it laid out. Like I said, we've been here for about 6 years. My husband and I have become very involved in the community in that time. We have built and opened a business. We've both worked. I used to work for Purdue Extension. He works locally as well. So we spend, we're here in Nashville and in Brown County, and we're here to stay. And I think if you've not lived in other places in the recent term, or maybe you even grew up here, you may take for granted how phenomenal our schools are. And I think everyone that's on the panel has outlined that, but it is not, normal for a school of this size and serving this county to be offering and delivering what they're doing. I mean, it's true everywhere that the schools are a pillar of the community. But I think it's obvious from what these people are sharing that K through 12 in itself is extremely important. But when you look at all the other extra work that the school has taken on because of the need, because of our geographic location and how that makes it difficult for people even to go to Columbus, to go to Bloomington, to go to other places that may be offering it. The adult education, the prior to kindergarten, the health clinic. I mean, the work that Brown County Schools is doing in the community is just phenomenal. And the referendum is really a big part of them being able to sustain that. As Debbie said, they're not trying, they're not a profit-making entity, but at the end of the day, there are still costs to providing these services. And I think it's clear that they're providing a valuable service to the community. And I really hope that, that people in Brown County will see that and will vote yes for this. And they've got, it seems amazing what they've already accomplished. They've got a lot more cool things in the works already. And so, they've touched on a couple of those things, but I can't wait to see what the schools continue to do, the way they continue to be innovative and plugged into the community. And I'm excited for my kids to, finish out their K-12 education here and see where that takes them in life. So I appreciate getting to know, all of the people during this effort. And I'm just really thankful for what Brown County Schools is doing. And I hope everyone watching this, and as you talk to people in the community, you'll encourage voting yes as well.
Thank you, Kara. I just want to send my absolute graciousness for the League of Women Voters to allow us to come on here tonight and share a little bit of our story and the impact that it would have on future generations to come. I would ask if it's possible, Sunny or Sherry, it would be helpful if you could pull up from the clerk's website, like what will the question look like when voters go to the ballot? I think some have asked, will it be a yes or no or a check mark, or that may be helpful to show us.
I think if you can see the screen that Sherry is, either Sherry or Lori is sharing right now, the public question is right there on the left.
Okay.
And contains the actual language that each voter will see on the ballot.
Okay. So it's kind of like the old school Scantrons. We got to bubble in yes.
That's correct.
Okay. Just making sure.
Okay. Did you have anything else that you wanted to say in closing, Emily?
No, again, I just thank you. I thank the panelists for helping me share the message. And then I will, if there are any additional questions, I can send those to Sherry and Sunny, and we can put it out there when they're able to share the recording. And I am always available. If you have community members or family members, or you know anybody that has questions or that wants to know just a little bit more, anybody on this panel, I'm most certain would be more than willing to spend some time with anybody. I, of course, welcome anybody. Call me on the phone, call me at night, call me on the weekends. I'll sit down and do whatever we can to get the information out and the most accurate information. Thank you.
Yes, Emily, thank you so much. And thank you to all of the panel members who were able to attend this evening, and also the individuals who tuned in for this very impressive and informative referendum forum that we were able to present this evening. You really were able to impress us with the importance of this issue, and we hope that anyone here will spread the word on the importance of paying attention to the ballot issue that is before Brown County Schools this year. I want to just remind everyone that this was sponsored not only by the League, but also by the Brown County Chamber and Hoosier Action. And I thank those sponsors for allowing us to come forward with this forum tonight. Our final kick with reference to this forum is to remember to vote. Please remember that your vote is your voice. Be prepared, register to vote, or check your registration by October 11th. That's not too many days away, and you'd be surprised how many times a registration can somehow get dropped from the records. So make sure you check your registration on or before the 11th. Plan how you will vote, whether it's early in person, absentee by mail, or in person on election day, November the 8th. Know the candidates. Check out Vote 411 to learn candidate positions on important topics in their own words. And also, I'll always make sure to, with reference to this referendum, that you can go to the Brown County School website, and they do have a plethora of information there for you to avail yourselves of. Thank you so much for participating this evening, and we wish you well, and everyone vote on November 8th. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.